This is the Cheating Story Lab. Share your tale of betrayal, where you can comment on the background of the deception below, and I will like your post. Have you ever endured a moment when someone you fully trusted flipped your life upside down with a lie so destructive it altered everything? Family should be a sanctuary, individuals who stand by you through thick and thin. But what occurs when that trust is used as a weapon? Share your story in the comments below. Label me shattered because that's precisely how I feel following my sister's actions against me. Let me share Vivian's story, my younger sister who is 3 years my junior. As children, we had the usual sibling rivalry over the remote, stealing each other's Halloween candy, but ultimately having each other's backs when it mattered. Our parents divorced when I was 15 and she was 12, which only brought us closer together. We became each other's constant in a world that suddenly felt unpredictable. Fast forward 20 years. 38 years old, employed as a software engineer at a tech startup, married for 6 years to Camilla, and recently celebrating the 4th birthdays of our twin boys. Though life wasn't flawless, I took pride in what I had achieved. Vivian, on the other hand, faced more hardships. She dropped out of college twice, endured a string of unsuccessful relationships, and frequently switched jobs. Let me clarify that I never judged her for any of those circumstances. Everyone finds their path at varying paces. Unbeknownst to me, however, Vivian harbored resentment towards me, which manifested initially as subtle remarks during family gatherings. She often brought up the fact that I had always been seen as the favored sibling, and everything seemed to come easily to me, while she faced numerous challenges. Initially, I dismissed these comments as lingering sibling rivalry. Later, the financial demands began, requests for assistance with rent, car payments, and medical bills. I obliged each time because that's what family does, but it appears my help only fueled her feelings of condescension. She later confided in me her discomfort with asking for money, her resentment towards my effortless ability to grant requests, and her irritation at the compassionate expression I had while giving her funds. The tipping point occurred at our nephew's 7th birthday party, hosted by our brother Marcus. As everyone sang happy birthday inside, Vivian, who was more agitated than usual after consuming alcohol, confronted me by the pool about borrowing $15,000 for a catering business she had been planning. This venture was unfamiliar to me, and frankly, considering her history, I was skeptical. I attempted to approach the matter delicately, suggesting she create a business plan first to demonstrate her seriousness, which enraged her. Yelled loudly, accusing me of thinking I was superior, never backing her aspirations, and acting like our father by making her constantly prove herself. The whole gathering overheard this. It was an awkward moment for everyone, but I maintained my composure, attempting to de-escalate the situation. Eventually, Marcus and our mother managed to convince her to depart early. I assumed that would be the end of it. Perhaps she'd calm down, and we'd discuss it later as we usually did after family conflicts. However, I had no inkling that she was already plotting something that would wreck my life. 3 weeks later, while at work, 2 police detectives appeared at my office. They inquired if they could speak with me privately, and immediately my stomach sank. You know that sensation when you sense something terrible is imminent but can't fathom what it might be. They informed me that my sister had filed a police report alleging I had sexually abused her during our childhood. Detailed, pointed, and supposedly convincing claims were made against me. This was stated. I supplied dates, locations, descriptions of incidents that purportedly transpired when I was between the ages of 8 and 12. I struggled to breathe, unable to utter words for approximately 30 seconds while they observed me. Eventually, I found my voice only to say that it never occurred. However, even as I spoke, I recognized how inadequate those words sounded. How does one verify a negative? How does one substantiate something didn't happen 25 years ago? They clarified that I wasn't under arrest yet, but advised me not to leave town, avoid contacting Vivian directly, and consider hiring legal representation. They maintained a courteous and professional demeanor, but their eyes betrayed their belief in her narrative. The drive home seemed interminable, lasting as long as 20 minutes. How was I going to inform Camilla? How do you convey to your spouse that your sibling has imputed heinous actions upon you, making it feel as if uttering the words taints the atmosphere? Upon hearing this, Camilla swiftly displayed unwavering backing, yet her eyes betrayed a palpable fear. This was not apprehension towards me. She knew my character too intimately to doubt my innocence in Vivian's allegations. Rather, it was anxiety over the potential impact on our family, our sons, my profession, and the impending tempest that threatened to engulf our lives. Within 2 days, I was put on administrative leave for investigation. By the end of a week, whispers of the matter had infiltrated our social circles. Parents at our son's preschool began steering clear of us, and friends ceased contact. The principle of innocent until proven guilty is meant to be sacrosanct, but unfortunately, accusations like these spread a blemish that precedes any opportunity to present a defense. My attorney, Patricia Hendricks, was straightforward about the predicament. The situation was grave. These cases were tough to contest, as they often hinged on credibility, with my account facing Vivian's. Juries frequently favored accusers in child abuse cases, especially when the accused is a male relative and the accuser is a woman. We spent weeks shaping my defense, scrutinizing family photos, school records, any evidence that could challenge her timeline. The issue was that Vivian had been cunning with her allegations. She primarily alleged incidents during summers when our parents were working, leaving us home alone, periods devoid of witnesses or documentation to substantiate or refute her claims. The preliminary hearing was harrowing. In that courtroom, I watched as Vivian emotionally narrated her fabricated story, feeling like I was living in a surreal world. Her acting skills were always impressive, but this performance was worthy of an Academy Award. Her voice held intricacies, feelings, a suitable measure of doubt and distress. What aggravated the matter was that a piece of me understood why some deemed her credible. She wasn't soliciting funds or seeking any apparent gain from the allegation. From an external perspective, it seemed like a victim courageously revealing her truth. Yet I knew it was all falsehoods, as the case persisted for 8 months. 8 months that depleted our savings with legal expenses. 8 months of my career being stalled. 8 months of observing my sons grapple with whispers they didn't understand, yet somehow sensed were about me. 8 months of Camilla maintaining a resolute facade amidst the mounting tension. Our extended family was fragmented. Marcus was uncertain about the truth. My mother was torn, struggling to mediate between her children. Some relatives and family acquaintances subtly distanced themselves from me. The allegation achieved precisely the intended impact on me, isolating and penalizing me for Vivian's perception of a lifetime of easier circumstances compared to her own. However, an unexpected event unfolded that Vivian hadn't anticipated. During the trial itself, Patricia meticulously uncovered discrepancies in Vivian's account, incongruities in her timeline, facts contradicting family photographs or school records. These were not substantial enough to entirely disprove her, but they sowed doubt. Then came the pivotal moment. Patricia was questioning Vivian about a particular incident she asserted took place during our Christmas break when I was 17 and she was 14. Vivian had stated that it transpired in our childhood bedroom while our parents were at a neighbor's holiday party. Patricia produced a family photo from that exact Christmas, a snapshot I had entirely forgotten about. It depicted our entire family, including me, at my grandmother's house, 3 hours away. The photo timestamp revealed it was captured on the same night Vivian alleged mistreatment. Instead of acknowledging a potential mistake in the date or modifying her story like with other inconsistencies, Vivian reacted frantically. She stumbled over her words, grew defensive, and then aggressive. She implicated Patricia of attempting to bewilder her, of doctoring evidence. The more agitated she became, the more her demeanor fractured. Then, Patricia posed a question that sealed the case. Ms. Morrison, is it plausible that you've misremembered when these events took place? Or could it be that they didn't occur at all? The courtroom fell silent. Vivian glanced at me for the first time throughout the trial. In her eyes, I saw a fear I had never witnessed before, true anxiety over being found out. No, she hesitated, then faltered. Looking at her lawyer, the judge, then back at me, Vivian uttered softly, "Some details might be untrue, Ms. Morrison." The judge murmured gently, "Please respond directly to my question." And it was then she confessed. "I fabricated everything," she whispered again, so quietly that the judge had to ask for repetition. "Everything I said never occurred. It's all a lie." The courtroom became chaotic. Her attorney attempted to silence her hurriedly. The prosecutor appeared shocked. Yet, Vivian persisted, spewing forth her words like an unstoppable flow. She spoke of her anger, her perception of life's injustice compared to hers, her desire to inflict pain as she felt I had done to her by achieving success she couldn't attain. She disclosed that she had researched methods to make fabricated abuse allegations seem credible and rehearsed her story for weeks before approaching the police. The judge promptly halted the hearing, informing Vivian of her rights. In less than an hour, I faced accusations of perjury and fabricating police reports. The legal ordeal ended for me, but the emotional turmoil was merely starting. My name was vindicated, my job awaited me, and my family could finally relax again. However, the sister I'd nurtured, the one I aided and loved despite her imperfections, intentionally attempted to ruin my life. At her sentencing hearing 2 months later, she received 3 years of probation and community service. She was also ordered to compensate me for my legal fees, yet she had no means to pay back the $80,000 her deceit had cost me. What tormented me wasn't the money or the agonizing months she subjected my family to. It was the expression in her eyes when she confessed. There was no remorse, no genuine apology, just rage that her scheme had failed. I have not communicated with Vivian since that day in court. She relocated across the nation post-sentencing, and as far as I'm aware, none of our kinship has interacted with her since then. Marcus attempted contact once, hoping we might mend together, but he was informed that she maintains the belief I deserved what she inflicted upon me. The most challenging aspect is clarifying to others that my sister isn't mentally unwell or battling a psychological affliction leading to this act. She wasn't a victim of genuine abuse transferring her pain onto me, but rather an individual asserting entitlement to wreck someone else's life due to her own frustrations. On occasion, I ponder if I should have foreseen it. In retrospect, there were indicators of the extent of her bitterness. However, I never anticipated that a loved one could be capable of such calculated malice. Nowadays, my family is recuperating. My sons are too young to comprehend the incident, which might be a mercy. Through our joint recovery from trauma, my marriage with Camilla has grown even stronger. Despite this, the ordeal following Vivian's allegations will forever alter me. Though my career has fully recovered and my company granted me a promotion along with an apology for their mishandling, I can no longer revert to my former self. Scars from such deep betrayal of trust linger indefinitely. The truth eventually emerges, even when concealed beneath multiple layers of deceit and manipulation. Yet, the price one must pay to uncover it can exceed what anyone should endure. If this narrative resonates with you, or if you've faced similar betrayal, please share your thoughts below. For those interested in exploring more narratives about human conflicts, consider subscribing. Thank you for tuning in.